y'all, so this is a bit of a different video than what I typically upload. This has been something weighing very heavy on me for some time now, and I just want to come out and share it, get it off my chest. In 2013, I graduated from Clark Atlanta University, HBCU love over here, okay? The blacker the college, the sweeter the knowledge. I received a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and like most recent grads, had absolutely no idea what I was about to do. Graduating with a bachelor's degree in psychology and wanting to be a psychologist is kind of like graduating with a bachelor's degree in biology and wanting to be a doctor. You have to go to graduate school to really break in the field. Now, I always knew that I wanted to pursue a PhD, but at the time of graduating, I knew that I was not ready, mostly because I could not figure out the GRE. Like, don't even get me started on that. The GRE is the single dumbest thing I've ever done in regards to education. I don't know why I need to know trigonometry and geometry and permutations in order to prove that I can study the brain, but you have to do it. So at the time I wasn't ready, and that's why I didn't go straight to graduate school then. So my ultimate goal became to come back home to Chicago, look for a good job, you know, study for the GRE, and hopefully be on my way to grad school within the next year. As you can see, by me sitting here 5 years later, not in graduate school, it did not quite happen like that. I did come home, and eventually I was able to find a job. I started volunteering at a very prestigious school on the south side of Chicago. I won't name drop, but I will tell you if you're local and you can put the pieces together. It's in the Hyde Park neighborhood. I did eventually end up getting part-time employment as a mental health professional in the Pilsen neighborhood. I was working weekends there. But like I mentioned, a bachelor's in psychology doesn't really get you much. So I was making pennies, okay? Pennies. 6 months later, I was offered full-time employment by another prestigious university in the Chicago area. I'll say that they have campuses both in Evanston and Chicago, Illinois. Now, this work was in the field of psychology, but it was in no way related to what I wanted to do in psychology. My interest is in neuropsychology. But it was a full-time job, so it was 40 hours a week versus the 16 hours a week I was working, and it paid $9 more per hour. So yeah, I took the job. It was supposed to just be something temporary. I wanted to, you know, apply to graduate school and leave within a year or so, but I actually ended up staying there for almost 3 years, y'all. In the course of that time, I took the GRE twice. The first time, my scores were basura, and the second time, my scores were also trash. I had spent almost $600 on GRE prep courses, and my score had only gone up like 2 points altogether. At that point, I just began to feel defeated. I had also had a really dramatic end to a relationship that I was in, so I was just in a really bad place. Y'all, like, when I tell you my life came crumbling down, that was around the point in time that I decided to move to Spain. Now, I know the story is getting long, but stick with me. It's all gonna merge into one big picture, I promise. Now, as I was out there living my best Spanish life, I actually applied to a graduate program. As luck would have it, I got into that school. I'll just say it was an Ivy League school, a master's program in the city of New York. All of you are pretty smart, and I'm sure all of you can figure it out, okay? I was so excited. I finally felt vindicated, y'all, that I was going to graduate school. So I sat back after getting my acceptance letter, and I waited and I manifested and prayed for the following scholarship letter, okay? Because we all know that graduate school in America, especially New York, is not cheap, okay? It's muy caro, muy caro. The price tag on the degree program that I had gotten into was about $40,000 to $50,000 a year. So yeah, I was waiting for them monetary blessings in the form of scholarships, work studies, whatever. Sadly, that day never came. I was told that I was not going to be offered the scholarship that I applied for, but nevertheless, I was determined to go to school. I did find a summer job in Chicago that would help me pay for a good part of my tuition and living costs. The catch, however, was that this job started in May and my program in Spain did not end until July. So I had a decision to make, and I decided to leave Spain early so that I can make sure that I had the right foundation to start my graduate career with, because nobody wants to be poor in college, but you definitely do not want to be poor in graduate school. So in May, I flew back home and I started my job with another university in Chicago, a third one located on the near west side. You figure it out. Now this job was scheduled to go all the way into August so that I could just pick up all my checks and take them right to New York. But, okay, huge plot twist here. I got fired the second month that I was working there. Y'all. Yeah, I had never gotten fired before, so I didn't even know what to do with myself. Like, I wanted to cry, I wanted to laugh, I wanted to scream, like I wanted to fight, I wanted to like just go to sleep. I didn't know what to do with my emotions. I was offended. Long story short, I was fired because we were all working in teams doing data collection, and the teammate that I had, there was some discrepancy between the numbers that she and I were pulling. I'm not placing blame on anybody, but what the university then said was, hey, you two, you have your numbers off, and we're not going to even check and see who's doing what wrong. We're just gonna get rid of both of you and get a new team in here. So I was unemployed. Now, right around the corner of me getting fired was the graduates program housing enrollment session. You bid for the room, first come, first serve, and you put down a deposit to secure your space. I'm thinking, okay, you know, what's a little deposit, a little $200. I'm without a job, but you know, I chalk it up to the Most High. He knows what he's doing. You know, I'm just down here. Things will fall into place. What's meant for me is meant for me. I go and I find the dorm that I believe is meant for me, and I get to the deposit page and they want $750. I was actually on my phone and I just remember looking at the screen like, so I called the housing office and I said, hey, I'm not made of this type of money. I don't know who you think I am, but can you guys use the loans that I'm taking out to pay for this education to put towards my deposit? Because you know the loans will be there. I was told no. In short, I was just told no. I don't have the type of family where I can pull together $750, and I'm not a GoFundMe type of girl, so I was essentially out of a housing option. Again, my attitude, everything happens for a reason. I get on Facebook, I get on Craigslist, I get on Trulia, I get on every website known to man, and I'm like, well, okay, who needs a roommate in New York, or whose apartment is subleasing? And let's just say that in short, that did not work out. Even on the outskirts or in New Jersey, I couldn't afford it because, again, y'all, I was unemployed. Now, for my practical thinkers, I know that you're thinking what I was thinking. Well, I'm gonna have $45,000 in student loans. I could just take up some of that money and use it for an apartment. I know. The problem was you don't get your refund check from the school until a few weeks after you start the program. How do I even pay to get to New York, let alone take the things that I need with me, find a place to stay, enough money to pay for my first month's rent and a security deposit without income? So let's just say that about now it's August and school starts next month, so I'm starting to panic. I still haven't found a job in Chicago. I haven't had any luck finding an affordable apartment in New York or somebody who will let me move in and pay everything a month after I get there. So I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to actually go. So I come up with this amazing idea. What I think is, well, what if for just the fall semester I enroll in 1 or 2 online courses, so that way I can work from the summer until the winter, and then next semester I can actually have maybe a job and enough money to go to New York and pay rent, or maybe even get a dorm that has opened up. So I log on to the enrollment space of the school and I enroll in 2 online classes. 2, okay, you hear me? 2. So I added those 2 classes to my schedule, gave myself a pat on the back for the great idea, for finding a way out of no way, for making my own path, and I went to go check what my bill would be. Why were those 2 classes $16,000? I just remember sitting at the computer in shock. Like, in that moment, I finally realized that I was not going to graduate school. At that point, it hit me like an epiphany. I just said, wow, fuck that. If that's what it costs to move forward right now, then I can wait. I'm in no rush. I just remember removing myself from the classes and just closing my computer and just not even thinking about it for the rest of the day. My brain could not handle it. I actually ended up emailing the Office of Admissions and I asked them if I could just defer my enrollment. They told me that they did not allow people to defer. So your 2016 application for the 2017 school year, we can consider it for the 2018 school year if you just update, your personal statement. So here I sit in December of 2017. I guess with the deferred application that I'm actually trying to consider if I even want to fill out again. Now I am currently working right now, but I finally got a job offer in the field of neuropsychology and I am scheduled to start that job in January of next year. So I'm trying to figure out, do I even want to go through the struggle of a master's program when the position that I've been offered can give me enough experience to apply directly to a PhD and save me $90,000. Because luckily in my field, PhD programs are typically paid for by the institution, so that means PhD for free. So yeah, you guys, please chime in with your thoughts. What do you think? Did you go to graduate school? Have you paid for that much for graduate school? Would you pay that much? Do you think I was being unreasonable? Or should I renew my application for the school year? Or should I just, do my job in neuropsychology finally? Let me know what you think. Talk back to me if you watch this video. And if you can relate, I would very much appreciate it, okay? I know that was a really long video. I talked for so many minutes, but it's over now. You made it. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.